Thank you, everyone. Welcome. Before we start, let me ask you this question. Ever heard of the phrase, "Sell me this pen"? This line became iconic in the Wolf of Wall Street movie, where Leonardo DiCaprio, who portrayed Jordan Belfort, used it several times for showcasing selling skills. But this time is not just about a pen. It's about understanding the customer needs before actually pushing a software product live. So it creates value and solves a particular problem. The same principle applies to how we approach e-commerce. You don't just launch a product catalog and expect to get sales immediately. You need to understand the business, the customer journey, the flexibility, and how commerce integrates with the content experience. And that's exactly where Umbraco Commerce stands out. It enables businesses to craft a tailored commerce experience with a flexible content-first CMS. So if I handed you the task to, let's say, build me a site to sell this pen or something else, how would you start? So let's explore that in the following minutes, and hopefully you will get all the necessary insights. But first, a little bit about myself. My name is Adrian Cojocariu. I've been working at HQ for almost 4 years now. If you're interested in knowing me better, there's a blog post I wrote a couple of years ago, and you can also follow up on the articles on integrations that I've written. I'm part of the commercial products, or the DXP team in Umbraco, currently as a software engineer in the commerce team, while keeping under my wing Umbraco UI Builder and integrations. Umbraco Commerce is a modern e-commerce platform designed to work natively within the Umbraco ecosystem, providing flexibility, extensibility, and easy-to-use interface on all the core necessary features for running a successful online store. It is a natural fit for Umbraco CMS, while also provides extension points for custom operations to make them work for your specific business cases. But why is that? Well, Umbraco Commerce is built natively for Umbraco. You have the same look, the same feel. Editors feel instantly at home. You can manage commerce and content side by side in a common and familiar workspace. Products are Umbraco nodes, which translates into a high level of flexibility on how to design them and display them on the front end. Commerce uses the same APIs, patterns, and extensibility as the CMS, and product pages fit perfectly into the editorial flow. Plainly put, commerce doesn't just work with Umbraco, it is Umbraco. So in this session, I will go through some of the basics, touch on some extra features, and briefly discuss the add-ons available. So let's get started with the basics. For that, we will cover the configuration for the backend, where we'll be installing Umbraco Commerce, set up a store, connect our store to the content, and assign some user permissions. And we'll finish up with the front-end setup, where we will handle the design of our products, cart management feature, and implementation of a custom checkout flow. For the installation, Umbraco Commerce is available as a NuGet package that you can install on your website, similar to Umbraco CMS or any other package available on the marketplace. When you run Umbraco for the first time, it will run a series of migrations and install several database tables that are necessary. And then we just need to go and set up the store. Logging into the back office, locate the stored tree item in the settings section, specify a name for your store. And that should be more than enough, because although there are a whole bunch of settings that you can go through, the default installation should be sufficient for a basic setup of a store. Then you can go through locations, countries, payment methods, shipping methods, taxes, email templates, and so on. Okay. Good. Now, as a good practice, that we set up the store, we should probably manage the access to it. And to make things cleaner a little bit, we are going to create a new commerce group. Then we'll assign that group to our specific users. And also need to ensure that we give the specific permissions for the store we want to manage by accessing the permissions workspace of our newly created store. Now, stuff gets interesting because we need to connect the store to the actual content of our site. To do so, we are going to update our store page and use a new property editor, which is called Store. This one is using a store picker, which is a property editor that comes amongst other property editors with Umbraco Commerce on installation. As the name says, it's just a simple store picker. Then, in our store content node, we will assign the recently created store. And this will basically create the linkage between our site and the store itself. A little bit down the way, we'll understand exactly how this is relevant for our functionalities. Cool. Now we move to the products. So setting up our product data type, there are two important properties that we need. One is an SKU, which is just a simple unique reference for the product, can be a string value, and the price. The price is also using one of the property editors that come with Umbraco Commerce. And these are the default, the mandatory properties that you need to have on your product page. Then, once you go to your product page, you can fill out the information there. Good. So now we've covered the minimum set of requirements for the back office. Let's switch a little bit to switch our attention to the front end. I saw in different talks yesterday that people tend to buy a lot of tea and coffee. So I should probably focus on a different market. And now, since we're close to Sweden, it's not IKEA, but it's some kind of furniture. So we have our friendly designers supply us with a custom theme for our front end. And the sketched product page is now ready. Oh, have a fly. This translates in a custom form that will post the details of our product to the server. With the default setup, it binds to the product reference with our requests property. And I just left the default quantity to 1. My request object looks like this. For this use case, I'll be focusing only on the product reference and quantity properties. The other properties, we will interact with those in the extras section. Now, since our products are Umbraco nodes, through several extension methods, we can obtain the required details that we need for the product, like the product reference, calculate the price, get a formatted string for the pricing that includes also the currency, as well as a product snapshot. Next, to pass the data to the server, we will be using a surface controller that uses the provided iUmbraco Commerce API interface to gain programmatic access to core functionalities in a consistent and high-level way. You can also use that interface and inject it into your own controllers, services, or Razor views. For this particular use case, I will be focusing on common cart management use cases, like adding to cart, updating the cart, or deleting items from the cart. Implementing the add to cart use case will require a new action result that takes the post model as a parameter. Umbraco Commerce uses a unit of work pattern as part of its internal architecture to manage data consistency and transactional operations. Order and product operations are grouped in a single transaction, ensuring that changes are saved consistently or rolled back if something goes wrong. In the action, we open a transactional block, get the details of our store using the extension method. Then we obtain the details of the current order. If no order exists for the current session, we will create one from scratch. When you perform this kind of operations, Commerce API provides the objects in a read-only state to ensure safety when accessing data and for performance reasons. So if you want to persist any changes or make any changes to your order and product, you will need to obtain a mutable version of that object by calling the asWritable method. Final step is to persist our order changes and complete the transaction. This is where the store picker now is useful in the content tree, as it enables us to get the details of our store. And based on that one, once we have identified the store in our content tree, it's easier to pinpoint our product nodes and retrieve those details. Let's see how it looks in action. So I have my product page. I've just added to cart. I get a small toast notification confirming the action. And that's it. But what if I missed the toast notification and I don't know as a customer what's the status of my cart? So let's improve the customer experience by managing some cart-specific UI. The simplest, most common, and fastest way to signal the customer that his cart was updated is through the small counter in the header, which display through a custom view component the total items of our order. Next, we have our cart management page, where the customer can work with the other use cases, so updating or removing items from the cart. Now, our page blueprint is composed of a table which iterate through the order lines of our order. Order lines basically are individual items in the customer's order. They are records that detail each product added to an order, starting with basic information to custom data like discounts or personalization. Then, in our update cart action, we follow a similar pattern as before. We ensure that the transactional block is opened, and then perform the changes or the order line depending on the actions of the customer. So you might see there a toast view model. That's one of the questions that I received in the past. It's just a notification model just for my test site. It's not relevant for any other store. Now, our model is very simple. It just contains an array of order lines, which are represented by their IDs and the quantity specified by the user in the UI. Similar for removing the cart, we open the transactional block, get our store, the order, make sure we get the mutable object, and then based on the ID or the order line, we just remove that from the order. Good. So now we are almost halfway in our process. Our cart management feature is ready, but a key component in the customer's journey is the checkout flow. Here comes Umbraco Commerce Checkout add-on, which is also available on NuGet as a package that you can install. It provides a pre-built, customizable, and ready-to-use checkout experience, built using best practices, designed to save development, while also allowing full customization. Once we have installed that, in the settings of the back office, you get the dashboard. dashboard called Umbraco Commerce Checkout. Using this one, you will need to set the store's root node, where the checkout pages will then be added. You can configure the checkout flow in various ways using the existing properties, and also adjust the checkout steps per your desire. On the front end, it will handle key stages of the checkout, from customer input to order confirmation, and it integrates directly with the Umbraco Commerce APIs. Typical checkout steps include collecting customer details, name, email, address. We'll just wait as the fictional user fills out the form. Then he will move to the shipping checkout, choose from one of the available shipping providers, choose one payment provider, and then review the order before submitting it and get a confirmation. Then, if we go to our store in the commerce section, you will see a summary of checkout operations, and we can also check the details of our order. There is a list of actions and updates that can be performed on the order, from changing the status, sending notifications, and also updating the customer details. One cool feature that has been implemented on Commerce is the possibility to finalize a cart and generate an order. Say the customer has closed his session, or Windows decided suddenly to do a system update, as it happened to me just a couple of hours ago. A store owner can go into the cart section, select the pending cart, and then if the customer details have been added, then he will be able to generate the order. He can also manage discounts, setting different set of rules and specific rules for the products. So, for example, if you go back to the checkout, in our page, if you use the added discount code, you will see that the total value of the order has been updated. You can also have gift cards and check out the analytics to see exactly, to get an overview of how your store is performing. Good. So now we're moving to the second part, which is covering some of the extras. One interesting use case that somebody might want to include in their commerce website is location-based configuration, which means that if you, as a store owner, target markets from different countries, you might have a different pricing for each one. So if your site is available in different languages, with a simple country switcher added on the front end, the pricing for the products will update accordingly. So let's see that in action. So I have one price for the Danish culture, one for UK. I go in the header, change the country, and the price has been updated accordingly. And this also goes for the cart management page. How we do that? Just a simple form that posts the selected country code to the server. A surface controller and an action will take care of that. In our action, we'll need to default payment, shipping, and currency details based on our selection, and then perform the same updates, but for the current order. Next interesting use case will be a customer portal, which is a private area of your website where customers can access their order history, manage their account details, or view personalized content. This will use together Umbraco's membership API alongside the Commerce API. So let's see how we can do that. So I have defined two member groups for our customer member type. One is golden, the other platinum. To access the members portal, we should provide register and login capabilities to our members. Once the member is logged in, he will get access to the history of his orders. Assigning orders to a customer will require an additional step in your add to cart use case, calling this method and passing the member's key. Then in the member's private space, we are able to retrieve and display the list of orders. For registration, we can use the CMS register controller, wrap everything into an Umbraco form. The same goes for handling the login. And also, we use the login status controller from the CMS to toggle the authentication status of one customer using the platform. Good. So with this use case for member-based pricing, we attempt to implement a flexible pricing feature where using the price property editor and something like a repeatable content item, I've used contentment in this case, and capture and bridge between different components. Then we will need to implement a custom product adapter that will return the proper price. So for the previous step, I am defining a new member price data type, which contains the price property. Keep in mind that this requires the actual commerce price property editor, because that one will be used in the product adapter to return our price, and a member group property editor, which uses contentment to create blocks connecting to different member groups. Then in our product content node, we can set the new member pricing, which in this case you will see that it's a different section from the one that existed. And set the new member pricing and specify the member group. The implemented product adapter will make sure that the member pricing will get returned and used for calculations. So if you go back and connect with one of the member groups and go through our product listing, you will see that the price reflects what we've set up in the content node. This also goes if we are trying to connect as the other member group. Okay. Next will be personalized products. These are items that can have a personal touch from the customer. This customization can be either by adding a message or to the order or selecting different options for the product. In my case, the user can add some observation to its orders and the product. Now we save that as a property of the order, and that will be also available in the order details in the back office. Sometimes products do not have a fixed price. So depending on the customer requirements, the pricing of the product can change. Take, for example, window blinds that have a price based on the size of the window, or wallpaper, which is priced by the meter. So I have 1 meter priced at one amount, which then I will multiply with the length desired by the customer. The cart management will reflect the total value of my order line. And then when we add the product to cart, we also pass a dictionary containing particular features that need to be taken into consideration. Taken into consideration how, you might ask? Well, we also save that custom property to the order. And then we calculate the price and tax rate of a given order line by multiplying the specific length with the unit price. And this is done via a custom order line calculator that we need to implement ourselves. Next use case would be product bundles. So when we refer to product bundles, we are thinking of a primary product with associated sub-products, all handled as a single order line. Products are added to the cart using a bundle ID. So our front end would look something like this. We have our base product and the extensions for it that the user can pick from. On the back office, we are using a variation data type, which will need to have the same mandatory fields for a product, price and SKU number, and can be configured as child nodes for the main product. To create the bundle, we first add the primary product to an order, as we would normally do. And in addition to the product quantity information, we also provide a unique bundle ID to identify that adding this product should create a bundled order line. So by adding sub-products to a bundle, Umbraco Commerce knows to automatically sum everything and take also the sub-product prices into consideration. Then it will add them to the unit price of the primary order line for you, which means that there is nothing extra you need to do in the calculation process. Now we've reached out the third part of my presentation, which is the add-ons. So Umbraco Commerce add-ons include Umbraco Commerce Cart, which adds a fully featured shopping cart system, enabling users to manage products, quantities, and prices before checkout. Deploy is a package that provides deployment support for Umbraco Commerce data across cloud environments using Umbraco Deploy. Checkout we've touched upon earlier. Umbraco Commerce product feeds will generate exportable product feeds compatible with platforms like Google Shopping. Payment providers integrates popular payment gateways, for example, Stripe, PayPal, Nets, and others. There is a list of 8 or 9 payment providers that are supported by HQ, but there is also an extension point, so this enables you to add your own payment providers to the store. And the last one is Umbraco Commerce shipping providers, which connects with different shipping carriers or enables custom rates rules for calculating shipping costs at checkout. Now, Umbraco Commerce has a variety of resources at your disposal, ranging for the official documentation for different areas, going up to a sample demo store, and the open-source payment and shipping providers. Issue Tracker is where you can report or provide input on things you are experiencing using Umbraco Commerce. And I would like to thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.